What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the Cloud Slayer channel. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys had a great weekend. We're back at it with another ramble. I hope you guys are doing well. And, hopefully you're staying positive and staying out of that negative mindset that so many of us fall into, right? We can have all the positive reinforcement in the world and still feel like crap and still feel down on ourselves. And, there's a thing that I've been seeing a lot more of men, men mental health, and, it's, nobody cares about the men and stuff like that. And we feel bad on ourselves. We lose our jobs because we're depressed and stuff like that. And it's tough, but if you're not doing nothing about it, nothing's ever going to change. So, I don't say nothing when I see people post about it because I understand, man. I've been there mentally many a times. We're all there. We all feel down on ourselves. We want to look back at the past and let it hold us back. We want to look at how things aren't going well and let that continue to hold us down and have an excuse not to progress forward and stuff like that, right? But the thing about our mental health is we have to work at it. There ain't gonna be nobody else to work on your mental health but you. So I get that you're gonna be going through these things. As a man myself, I've been through some stuff too, and I've had times where I held myself back, blamed everybody else, and hid in a bottle, hid inside drugs, and hid everywhere, and decided to not look into the one spot where I can change it, in the fucking mirror, right? I didn't want to stare myself in my face and tell me that I am in control of what's going to happen next, right? I can pick myself up and go forward. But some of us aren't, we're not all going to be strong enough to face ourselves. We will need some help, right? It's tough, of course, but if you're not actively pursuing things to help better your thinking or your mindset or your depressive state, and you're not staying away from these depressants like alcohol and stuff like that, which can make things worse and most often does for people that are hiding from something, hiding from a past, hiding from whatever it is within, right? And they're making them worse, and you don't want to see it because you think the drinking makes you forget about the bad stuff, makes you feel like you're invincible, makes you feel like all that stuff doesn't matter. But when you wake up and you feel like shit, and that's all you're thinking about again, and you know what? I got to drink some more, and it gets you in that never-ending loop of self-loathing and stuff like that. It's going to make it worse. And if you have no support other than somebody at work telling you to, knock that shit off or something, and you got to get out of there or something, you might not ever get out of it because, like I said, it's a never-ending loop, and you're not going to want to see the reality of the truth. But if you're serious about this thing, you're serious about working on your mental health and things like that, there's many avenues to do these things, right? One of these big things you're going to want to do is keep yourself busy, create little projects for yourself at home. It doesn't have to be at work. A lot of people, they're sad at work because, if you work at a place that you're constantly, that's all you're going to be doing, and you're just thinking about it, and you're like, oh, man, I'm broke or whatever. It's going to be defeating. It's going to wear on you mentally, right? Especially when you're sitting around thinking about those things. So you want to keep yourself moving and not thinking about those, trying to be positive, saving up for something, right? If you got a lot of debt, that's stressful shit, right? Work on getting that stuff down, getting rid of that stuff and easing that load a little bit, Stop going out to eat. Try to learn how to cook or something. You don't know how to cook, learn how to cook. It doesn't take much, but when you get it down, it's easy to fuck up. But when you get it down, you got it down for life, and it's going to help you go a little bit further. It's going to help you manage things a little bit more. Yeah, sure, it's going to take a little bit more work. Yeah, sure, you're going to have to do dishes and shit, but that's a part of keeping you busy, right? That's a part of keeping you away from sitting there twiddling your thumbs and thinking about the things that you don't have and the things that you want but can't get because you don't have the money, you don't have this, whatever. I don't know how my coworker has all these nice things when we have the same job title or something, right? I don't know who that is, but I've heard it, and I've thought about it too when I don't have any money. But the reality of it is, you got to work on managing that stuff, right? You got to work on that. You don't just spend it needlessly, Everything adds up. You're buying pop, you're buying energy drinks, you're buying cigarettes. There's people that smoke so much, and they're always complaining about being broke. They're drinking every weekend, sometimes during the fucking week, all the time, which is whatever. Do whatever you want. It's your money. But you got to realize that those things pile up, right? You got to manage these things. Things in moderation is fine, but if you're abusing those things, not so fine, right? And if if you want to do something nice, it might require that you cut back on some of these things that you would typically find luxurious during your 2-week hiatus of your paycheck, right? Sometimes, I've been there too. Like, I get paid, coming that Monday. It's like, dang, I'm broke. I can't do nothing, right? Because I bought video games, because I bought a new punching bag. I love punching bags. Here, I'm going to show you an example right now. I love this thing, but look at that Outslider punching bag. I've had this thing hanging up. I'm beating the crap out of it, but it also costs money. It costs quite a bit of money, a couple $100, and all of a sudden I'm broke. Guess what? That's my fault. I could have went on a trip. I could have went somewhere. You know what I mean? I could have put it up for later and saved it up. There's things that you got to think about at that time. Like, okay, and I want to get in shape, so that's why I bought the punch bag, right? All right, fine, but you're going to sacrifice doing some of these other things that you want to do that that might get you down. So you got to create plans, right? Start writing things down, okay? And hold yourself accountable to it. Sign it, right? If you're going to work at this thing, you got to take it serious. You got to be a man of your own words, your own writings, I guess, okay? Okay, so let's say you want to plan a trip. Okay, so first thing you're going to have to do on one of these weekends or after work or before work, sit down, look up prices, find out what these things cost. Are you going to drive down there? You're going to take a train? You're going to take a bus? I see that there's some Amtrak stuff. Might be a couple day drive, to get out and sit on a fucking train with a bunch of random people and, watch all the scenery as you go by in a train or some shit. Or you never been on an airplane, you want to take an airplane. Okay, so, or you just want to go the cheapest way possible. So you're like, okay, I'm going to fly. That's the cheapest thing. So you just, not just fly. You figure out which one's the cheapest. You take that route. So in this case, we're just going to say flying. So you're going to go from, we'll just say Minnesota because I'm from Minnesota. You're going from Minnesota to Texas. And then you got to plan, it's a round trip. So that's going to cost you $270, right? $278, depending on what time you go. Well, let's say $278. You write it down. You're like, this is my cost from going there and getting back on the, the plane. And now I'm planning on just being there for the weekend. So, because I want to get some, whatever. Nothing else. I need a apartment to stay in, or not an apartment, but a motel room. So that's going to cost me another, $40 a night. So I'm going to stay there Friday and leave Sunday. So Friday, Saturday, it's $80. Friday night, Saturday night, and you're out on Sunday, right? So that's $80 more. You tack that on. You figure food, and you want to, eat some nice barbecue spots or something, right? And you're like, but I don't want to get fat, so I'm gonna only eat twice a day. So I want to find 2 breakfast spots, and then I want to find two dinner spots, right? And you're like, okay, so you look up the menus, you figure out that you're going to roughly spend maybe $30 to $40 per meal, right? So that's 40 or per day at least, something like that. 40 to 50, we'll say that. So $100 in food just for those 2 days, right? So that's about $200, and you figure that that's probably going to throw in gas. So are you going to be traveling? What are you going to do? You got to rent a car. How much is it going to cost to rent a car to drive around, for those couple of days? So you got to factor that in too, right? It's going to cost you maybe 100, 200 more bucks, 300 more bucks to rent a car while you're down there. Well, all right, tack it on there. And all right, now you wanna see places. Does it cost money to go explore these places? Does it, or are they like parks or something that you can get them for free? Do you have to have a parking permit to park anywhere? Whatever, factor those in, add them up. And let's just say I didn't do any math or anything like that. Let's say it's going to cost you about $800 to $900 total. And you want to have a little bit of extra just in case anything happens. So you just round it up to $1,000 to $1,100 or something, right? Now you have a goal to attain. Now you're going to have to sacrifice, that means you're like, man, I fuck cigarettes, man. I'm gonna cut back on cigarettes. So, I'm not gonna smoke as much. Maybe you even decided to quit, so you quit. You just booze. You don't drink during the week anymore. You maybe want to drink during the weekend, one day only, Friday or something. Well, that's gonna save you more money because you're not drinking every day. Especially if you're not going to go to the bar. Let's say you're like, okay, no more bars. I'm just going to drink at home, or I'm going to go to my friend's house and, I'm going to buy a 6-pack and that's it. Only on Friday though. And you hold yourself to it. And eventually you're seeing your money stack up, you're not going out to eat as much anymore. So you're cooking yourself homemade meals that can stretch on a little bit further. Albeit they're simple, but they don't take all your money. They're not costing you $20 per meal or something. I don't know how much it costs. Around here, it's about $20, well, about 10 to 15 easily, right? Unless you just go cheap and buy like the value menu, which a McDouble used to be $1 back in my high school days, but now it's the same McDouble is probably like $4 or $5 almost, right? So you're no longer going to McDonald's. You're getting better nutrients, so you're starting to think a little bit better. Maybe you're even starting to feel a little bit better, and you're also feeling good because you're saving money, and you've been cleaning, you've been cooking, you've been doing all these things that you've seen that you weren't doing before, and it's keeping you busy, and you're not thinking negative anymore, right? And you're slowly reaching that goal that you set for yourself, maybe even your family, to go and go down to Texas and eat some good barbecue with the people that you love and stuff like that, right? And that'll be some things that people don't talk about enough, I don't think. And some people like fighting their own mental health, These are going to be some of the battles you got to think about for those things. So, it's going to take a lot of planning. It's going to take a lot of this, that, and another thing. But at the end, it's going to make you feel a lot better about yourself and some of the things you're doing. And that's my personal opinion. So, but anyways, if you're going through it now and you're depressed and stuff, man, I feel for you. But you're going to also have to do things. You want to do these cool things that you see other people doing. These are some of the steps you got to consider. These are some of the things that, you got to look at in what you're doing and maybe change those things in order to create a goal and achieve it ultimately, right? So, but anyways, I hope you guys have a great one. I hope you guys, you know, if you're here and you're having a hard time, man, like I said, I hope that you make it through, and I hope that this helps you at least a little bit, man, even just a little bit, and maybe help you, maybe even reevaluate some of the things that you're doing. So I hope you guys have a great one. Until next time, this is the Cloud Slayer channel. I hope you guys have a good one, and please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate it. Peace.